brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on selling and investing in real estate. You're probably asking yourself, educate. Yes, there's a surprising amount of adults that when it comes to real estate, don't know the right questions to ask, don't know where to start, and think they need a lot of cash to buy a house in Nevada, which simply isn't true. So Josh has decided to make it his responsibility to teach his clients what they need to know, and equally important, what they need to ask to help ensure making their home ownership dreams a true reality. So make sure you call or text Joshua LaFon today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Make sure you give him a call, 702-813-0533.
You must be kicking yourself for not walking out when you could. Bad judgment. But don't you worry, son. It will all be over soon.
Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose.
Bobby, it's me, your daddy, Roberto.
Daddy?
Occasionally, you may hear it pronounced as Joao. It depends.
It's called Rex Kwando.
Look at me now. How far we go back? Elementary, jump rope, hide and go see, pity pat, red light, green light, red light, green light.
Hello? You play to win the game.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right. Wednesday night, just past 9 p.m. It's time to have some fun, baby. You already know what it is. I am your host, Jose V. We are coming to you live from downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Greatly appreciate you guys joining us tonight, as you do every single Wednesday night. Going to go ahead and jump right into it with my co-host, my compadre, Big Rob G, sporting the Dodger blue tonight.
Yo.
Dodgers are up 4-2. Didn't want to take Quan's bet when they got in here. Quan wanted to take the Dodgers, and they were winning. So, of course, Rob wasn't going to go against his Dodgers. But, Rob, what's good, my man? How was your weekend? How's your week going so far?
It was good. Off for the next couple weeks too. Right?
Remodel time at the store.
Yeah, remodel time. So took some time off. I actually, I don't know if you know this, but I went to the Raider game.
Okay, so I real quick before we get into our guests and we get into everything else, you weren't able to get rid of the tickets. I saw that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the game was amazing.
I wasn't gonna. It got to the point where I was like, I want to go. Going to the game took over what I was going to be able to sell them for. So I was like, let's go to the game.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. You excited about tonight, though? We got a good guest on tap?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Talk about the game. See what he thought.
Definitely. Someone that covers the team, obviously, which is great. We got UNLV right around the corner. Big game against Iowa State.
I don't know how big of a game it is.
They're going to get paid, right? They get paid for playing these big conference teams. So we definitely want to talk to our guests about that. But again, guys, you already know what it is. You already know what you're tuned into. Jose V, Rob G, Quan59 in the studio with us tonight as well. Jay Madrazos, if you guys haven't been following him, he is all over the place.
Where's he at?
He's taking pictures for us. He goes to the Lights games. He goes to the Aces games. He does all that. So you're going to be seeing a lot more from him as well. I'll be at the UNLV Rebel game this weekend coming up on Saturday night at Allegiant Stadium. We're trying to get Rob in there. So
you're going?
Rob. I'm going for sure because I got my season credential. I got to get you a game day credential so we can get you into the stadium.
Or I can just grow the beard, right?
You can grow the beard and just walk in and say that you're Jose, definitely. But once again, guys, as I do every single Wednesday night, go ahead and do us a favor. Go ahead and press that like button if you're watching. Drop a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about tonight. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you want to give us a call. 702-608-3259 is also the phone number here in the studio. And, of course, go ahead and press that share button. Share it. Let everyone know what you're sharing. If you haven't followed the page yet, Straight Bet Sports on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And, of course, we are live on all things Gorilla Cross Radio, the YouTube page if you like YouTube, the Twitter page if you like Twitter, and, of course, the Facebook page. And we share them every single Wednesday night on our pages as well. So we greatly appreciate you guys for chiming in and doing what we do. Not only that, tonight, we also got a giveaway. Our big homie from Kevin over at Klever Shirtz, has hooked us up with a pretty cool Raiders shirt. It's got Raiders, Los Angeles, check. Oakland, check. Los Angeles, check. So I love it. And if you're a Raider fan, exactly. I'm sorry, Las Vegas. So and if you're a Raider fan, awesome stuff there. Chime in, tune in. Trust me, we're going to be doing it live tonight on the air. Big shout out to Bill Blockham Logan from Let the Ball Bounce crew timing in on Facebook. And, of course, Primo Eddie, as he does every single week. Rob, you already know what it is. But without further ado, we got a great guest tonight. He covers the Las Vegas Raiders out here, UNLV Rebels as well, and anything that has to do with sports in general. I mean, if the lights were doing anything, he'd probably be at the lights as well. We've caught him a few times there, but he's a good friend of the show, a good friend of ours. He is none other than Jesse Merrick of NBC News3 out here in Las Vegas. Jesse, my man, how's it going out there? Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, for sure, guys. Appreciate you guys having me on. I'm fired up to be back on with you guys. A great time last time chopping it up. So we got plenty to talk about after that wild weekend, that's for sure.
So, Jesse, how's life been, man? I mean, things are changing up with COVID. Obviously, it's not the way it was last year. We're getting to go to more events and do a lot more at these events. How have you been enjoying yourself so far with everything kind of getting back to normal here?
Yeah, no, I've been loving it, man. Life's been good as we kind of slowly transition to getting back to normal, and just the game on Monday night, that was incredible. That was something we've been waiting, so long for. Las Vegas, 5 years for that? For me, I've been here about 2.5 years or so. So it was about 2.5 years worth of waiting to get fans in the building to open it up on Monday Night Football. So, that was awesome. So, I mean, life is good, man. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
So when it comes to everything that you're covering right now, what are you most excited to cover? Obviously, the Raiders are the big ticket right now. Golden Knights are done. Raiders finally have a regular season with fans in the stands. What are you most excited to cover? I mean, be honest.
Yeah, no, for me, it's Raiders. I mean, 100%. They're the reason I took this job out here to come to Vegas. And that's no knock on any other of the teams, but this is the NFL, man. It's the top dog, and having the Raiders here, having fans here, I've been waiting for this for a long time. So for me, football season, I'm a nut about football, that. So for me, it's the Raiders and covering the NFL again and diving into this and seeing what they can do this season.
So let's talk Raiders, man. We're already on it. We're already talking about them. Big game this Monday night that just passed to finish off the first week of the NFL. I had money on the game. I took the Raiders money line in the over. Even though Rob and I were talking Sunday morning saying the Raiders are going to get smashed. Everyone's going to be on the Raiders. There's no way you should bet them. But it was a great game, man. I mean, I saw the start of it before I left work, saw the rest of it at home. I mean, it's 2 years in a row. Obviously, the last year with the Saints, now the game with the Ravens. This is the type of football that we want to see from the Raiders moving forward, though. Obviously, we want to see them win, but there's a lot that they got to clean up. Let's be real. Derek Carr wasn't the greatest Derek Carr that night. The defense, which is supposed to be a lot more solidified and a lot more better, got some injuries that night. Gerald McCoy now out for the year from what we saw. But they didn't look as great or as better as people expected. They gave up a lot of points. What did you see on that first Monday night game, and what can we expect from the Raiders moving forward here?
Yeah, to be honest with the defense, I got to disagree. I mean, they didn't look amazing. They weren't world beaters, but I don't think that's what we were looking for out of this defense. We just needed them to be middle of the road. And yeah, they gave up some points, but that's against Lamar Jackson, one of the best players in the NFL. He's the only quarterback to rush for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. We obviously saw the legs on display. I mean, there was some times in that game where it's just Lamar being Lamar. There's nothing you can do. I mean, as a DB, you can only cover for so long when that guy's running around back there creating. And then when he takes off, a lot of guys are going to be back and covered. So honestly, I thought the Raiders did really well, especially on defense, because they did the thing that we didn't see them do last year is they kept the offense in the game while the offense was kind of sluggish to start. I agree with you with Derek Carr, wasn't on point, kind of looked rusty. The whole offense, for the most part, the starters didn't play in the preseason, and they looked like they didn't, and it took some time to get going. But in crunch time, I mean, he was nails, man. That was incredible to watch. They just kind of flipped that switch. And the thing that was the most impressive to me is the two young receivers, Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards, stepping up in crunch time when they needed them to, when they were non-existent for most of the game. But come down to it late in the game, when they really needed it, those guys stepped up and delivered the win. So, I mean, and not to mention that it was just a wild game. Like, going on TV afterwards and trying to talk about that and explain what the hell just happened, I was, losing my mind. It was crazy.
So you talked about the receivers, man. That's one thing that I was looking at as I'm watching this game. In the beginning part of the game, I'm sitting there going, you do realize you have more receivers than Darren Waller. It just felt like they didn't want to go to anyone else. And then towards the end of the game, when they needed to, Edwards was all over the place. Hunter Renfrow doing what Hunter Renfrow does. Third and Renfrow, sideline catches, in the slant, whatever it may be. We know what he can do. You know what I mean? He's technically their number one receiver away from Waller because Waller's the tight end. We know that. But that's what I was thinking. And I'm sitting there going, it's working. Why didn't you use this earlier in the game? Do you think that if they would have tried to facilitate the ball a little bit more, because Darren Waller also had a career high in targets in that game, not catches, just targets in general. So don't they got to slow down and go away from Waller a bit? Because at the end of the day, other teams you play, they're going to know your cards, right? They're going to know how you're going to start the game or where you're going to go or who's going to be the main guy. So, I mean, do you disagree with me that they kind of got to go not 100% away from Waller, obviously, but they got to give these guys more looks?
Yeah, I'm going to agree and disagree with you at the same time because at the end of the day, like, look, it's Darren Waller. Like, he is a dog. So you're going to target him and target him often. You know, Derek Carr is going to continue to do that. This guy's going to have double-digit targets every week, I feel like, honestly. But you did see how different this offense was, how different this team was when you got everybody else involved. Start spreading it around, get the young guys into it. And that's what really opened things up, got them moving the ball. And the defense has to think, you know, and has to guess who the heck's going to do it. I mean, who had Zay Jones catching the game-winning touchdown or Brian Edwards doing the same thing in regulation before we saw that he came up just short? So, like, that's the thing is there's a lot of role players, but the offense is going to go through guys like Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. They're going to be the guys that get all the looks, and then the other guys are going to eat when they can in crunch time or big situations when their opportunity comes. It just may be few and far in between. So, like, John Gruden said it after. He's like, because one of the reporters asked him about that, about feeding him, like, I think it was, he said 19 times. I mean, that is a lot. But John Gruden was like, if you had him, you'd probably do the same, right? Like, I mean, if I got Darren Waller, I'm trying to throw it to him every time. But it did feel forced early on. And I think that was just kind of the offense as a whole getting things going. And then you just continue to see, you know, what Darren Waller did with that workload. And obviously he's one of the best players in the NFL. So you're going to feed him. But I would like to see a little less trying to force it to him over and over again, at least early on in the game, and maybe get the rest of the offense going. And then obviously Darren Waller's going to eat when he eats.
Once again, we are joined by Jesse Merrick, NBC News3 Las Vegas sports reporter, here live on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. So another thing, too, the running game. We saw what Josh Jacobs could do, right? I don't think he's 100% healthy. He doesn't look it at all 100%. I think we need to see a little more Kenyon Drake because I don't think we're going to see the Raiders winning games with Derek Carr throwing the ball 56 times, right? I mean, we know he can throw the ball. We know what he can do. But they got to solidify that running game a lot more. And if Josh Jacobs isn't going to be your everyday back, we need to see more of Kenyon Drake. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I agree big time. He caught 5 of 5 targets out of the backfield, and that's really going to kind of be his role. You know, he's going to do more of that scat back type of guy, you know, catching the ball out of the backfield, change of pace guy with the speed. But I'd like to see him get a couple more carries. But again, kind of to the same thread with Darren Waller, like Josh Jacobs is your guy. He's one of your kind of three-headed monster, if you will, on the offense. And he's that guy that you want to continue to feed the rock to and get him going because he gets better as the game goes on. But he's definitely not healthy right now. It's clear to see that. You know, he was getting his way through that injury or the illness that they said that nearly kept him out of there. So he's a guy that's going to continue to fight. He's never going to let on to like how much he's hurting. But, you know, he's a guy that you do need to get going. But Kenyon Drake, you brought him here for a reason. You paid him all that money. Definitely get him more involved, especially in the passing game. I think we're going to start to see Drake used more as a receiver, to be completely honest, than anything else. And that, I think, is going to be a really fun and interesting wrinkle that gets added to this offense.
So I got 2 questions for you. First one being, is this really a game that the Raiders won or a game that the Ravens lost? And not only that, man, I'm spacing out on the second question there. But I know.
Start with that one.
Just start with that. So let's start with that one. Is this a game that you believe that the Raiders lost, or a game that basically the Ravens gave away towards the end? Oh, and here's the other part. Are we going to stop seeing the uh-oh moments? And what I mean by that, they should have won the game in regulation before we went to overtime, right? I think that's what the play was. My wife doesn't even watch football, and she's sitting there going, they're going to lose. Oh, watch, they're going to do something. And it's like, I kind of had to agree with her because it's the Raiders, and you have that uh-oh moment. How does Derek Carr get away from these type of situations? And is it more coaching or is it more on the player?
Man, well, I think in that game, it was a mixture of both, you know, in a sense. I mean, there's obviously a lot of onus on the players, but, you know, because that's that narrative that's out there, you know, oh, it's the Raiders, you know. So as that's happening, I'm thinking the same thing, like, oh, man, the national media is going to have a field day with this, go in on the Raiders and talk about how, oh, man, like it's the Raiders being the Raiders again and blah, 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 all this stuff, how they blew it and all that. And then they go and they win it. So, like, the only way they shut people up is by going and doing what they did. But I will say, like, you want to see John Gruden not kick the field goal or at least try to kick the field goal that early. Got saved by the delay of game because, like you said, the kicker was warming up by the net, but apparently no one knew to look by the net. I don't know about you, but that's like a logical place for me to look for my kicker. But it worked out perfectly for him because since they couldn't go for that field goal, Then they go for it. Boom. Perfect play call against the perfect defense, at least schemed up for what they were calling. And so that's the thing is you just need to not see these, they need to be able to overcome those things, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at, is that's where that narrative starts to die off if you see the Raiders continue to do that. But let's be honest, and I don't know the exact stat, but Derek Carr has a ton of fourth quarter comebacks. He's up there in numbers with a lot of bigger names.
He's over 22. I think he's got like over 22, something like that. They were saying tonight. Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy, like that narrative out there that like Derek Carr isn't clutch or Derek Carr isn't this or that, like he has clearly turned it on late in games in his career. And I think that's something that people need to point to. Like, I'm not a Derek Carr apologist by any means, but I'm also not that dude that's like crapping him all the time too, because I see that all the time. And I'm like, you guys don't realize like Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He's not a world beater, but he's a good quarterback. And look at what he's done with this offense over the years. And last night was a display of it. Once he kind of got things going, got comfortable. Some of those balls that he was throwing, those were nice balls. And especially that last one on the end, full all-out blitz, falling away, lofts it up, hits Zay in stride for the touchdown. I mean, that was a hell of a throw that I think people really got to start talking about as well.
So, Jesse, my question to you this weekend, they're coming up. They're going on the road this time. Second game that they're a dog, right? This time, they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, minus 5.5 points. I don't know if you're a betting man or not, but if you're a betting man, what do we see from the Raiders? Is this an opportunity to think that they can go 2-0 to start the season, or are we being realistic and this could be a game that possibly they don't pull off the W in Pittsburgh this coming Sunday?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, like, I love covering the Raiders, but Raider Nation is going to hate me because I continue to pick against them. I said they were going to lose to the Ravens because I just thought, looking at things on paper, and again, this game's not played on paper, but looking at it, I thought they were going to lose that opening game. And I'm saying it again, I think they're going to lose this game. Like, I hope Raider Nation doesn't turn on me because I love the fans, man. But I just look at this defense of the Steelers that just held the Bills to 16 points. We're talking about Josh Allen and that Bills offense that was tearing everybody up last year, and they held them to 16 points. I mean, that defense is legit. Got TJ Watt that just got paid. The
Big
dude
one.
is still clearly hungry. Like, he's out there doing things. And then you got a Minka Fitzpatrick who's just an eraser back there. I mean, that defense is going to be real interesting. And you got to also take into account, like, the Raiders were down 14-0.
Yep.
Like, if you go down 14-0, props to them for coming back. But if you go down 14-0 to this Steelers defense, I don't think you're coming back. So the Raiders, if they want a chance to win this thing, have to come out fast. And I know that's so cliche. We hear it a million times when we're talking about the Golden Knights because they're like, oh, fast start. You have to do it. But, like, that's really the key. And you got to get this team to kind of maybe come out of their scheme a bit in the Steelers. So if they're able to get off to a fast start, get those first couple scripted drives going and get on the board, that can kind of change things. But I don't think they're going to do it because of this Steelers defense. They're the real deal. And then, how long can this Raiders defense hold up as well, which I think they're much improved. I think they're going to do a lot better than other people think. But I just don't think they're going to be able to slow down this team in the Steelers.
There you go, betting fans and Raider fans. Jesse Merrick is saying take the Steelers minus 5.5 on Sunday. They will cover. No, I'm just messing with you, man. Just putting you on the spot.
Coming my way.
It's a lock of the century. Jesse said it. But I do have a question for you, though, before we move away from the Raiders and talk a little bit of UNLV since they're coming back into town this Saturday. How was the atmosphere on Monday night at Allegiant? That's what I want to know. Rob said he was there. He went to the game. You as a reporter, though, being there, press, field, whatever it was, how was the excitement and the energy in that stadium that night?
Man, I mean, I've been doing this on air and working in this business since 2012. So, like, not like forever, but long enough to know, like, what an atmosphere is like. And I loved it, man. I was eating it up. Like, I go crazy for those type of things, for those type of moments. I mean, think about it. The game itself, forget about the atmosphere real quick. The game itself was like one of the all-time great Monday Night Football games that you're going to see just because of how wild it was. Then you throw in the fact that we got fans inside Allegiant for the first time in a game that actually matters, and it's on Monday night. Like, it was nuts. And then also on top of that, it's Raider Nation, and they're insane. Like, so they're so loud. Like, I used to work in Alabama, and I covered Alabama and Auburn games, and we all know how the SEC is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was texting my friends. I was like, guys, I feel like I'm back in the South because of, like, how loud it was in the atmosphere there. Like, I was getting chills. Even, like I said, I'm a nut, man. I'm getting chills talking about it right now. Just 'cause, like, I love having the fans back in there. And, like, that just, like, riles me up. And that's what I love about my job and what I get to do, And, Rob, I'd love to hear your side of things on what you kind of felt being in the stands. Because in the press box, it was still electric there. So I can only imagine with, like, fans all around you.
How was it, Rob?
Yeah, it was obviously jam packed, right? And then my seats are right there by the common area, which the torch and all that, and that place was just insane. The entire it was definitely attracting all the fans over to kind of take pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, being in the stands, it was a great game. I think to answer your question that you asked earlier, I think that the Ravens lost that game, being up 14-0.
Yeah, and
they Lamar, he had a great game and he led some crucial drives, but twice, in big moments, he turned into what I call Madden Lamar, where it's like if you touch him, he
Madden Lamar,
right? Because anytime you play with Lamar on Madden and you tackle him, he fumbles. Like almost
or like Mike Vick. Remember Mike Vick?
Yeah, they're mobile and they can, but you got to be able to use them right, and he always fumbles, and that's exactly what they cause him to do twice in big moments. I think that's a game that the Ravens definitely lost, and more than the Raiders won.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So good Raider insight. We appreciate you, Jesse. I know you're going to be hyped up more. So we're going to have you more on the show this year, especially with Raider football, because I know you're going to be there. I got to get there. I still haven't gone to a game, even though I've been to a Legion already for a Rebel game, but not a Raider game.
But there's nothing like it, man. You got to get in there.
It's an amazing arena, stadium. Obviously, with the Raider fans, I want to see how that gets and how that jams. Now, let's move on to some UNLV, some more local football talk here. Obviously, not the biggest name in town, not the biggest program in town. Obviously, we know that. Even though we're trying to get there with Marcus Arroyo, I'm not a big UNLV football fan. Obviously, I'm a big USC fan. That's where I come from. I'm from LA. But we got to see this team succeed. I honestly think that we have our quarterback now in Doug Broomfield. I know he had the injury last week, but you also got to learn how to run. When you're running the ball as a quarterback, you got to learn how to protect yourself if you want to have longevity and continue to play. People are saying throw in Tate Martell. No, I'm sorry. I love the local aspect of it and everything of that. But we have to be realistic here. We're not playing musical chairs to have fun. We're trying to create a program. Marcus Arroyo is trying to keep his job and create a legacy here. They're a huge underdog against Iowa State. I believe the line's 30. What is it, 35.5
no,
or something?
It's 31.5. Well, it opened at 30 up to 31.5.
So 31.5 point dog, right? They went into Arizona State last week. Looked really good in the first half of that game, right? First part of that game. Looked like they can go in there and make some noise. I thought they might even cover. Didn't think they'd win the game, but I thought they'd keep it close and cover. Obviously, we saw what happened. Arizona State took off.
They scored 0 second half points.
I think that's what it was, right? Nothing in the second half. Now, we know what UNLV is, Jesse. It's mostly the Chuck wagon, right? We're going to give the ball to Chuck, the ground and pound. That's what they love to do. Kind of reminds you of a John Gruden offense. They want to run the ball first and pound it there, right? So we got the two teams here in Vegas. But do they have a shot against Iowa State? I'm going to lose this bet already, but I have a bet with a buddy of mine, Tommy from Heatwave on Fox Sports Radio. I said that they would win 4 games. The way they're playing, it's been nice and all. They should have won the first game. It was a heartbreaker, probably one of the best UNLV games I ever saw with the whole double overtime. But realistically, Jesse, do they have any type of shot this Saturday? And if they do, what do they have to do in your eyes to even stay close to this Iowa State team after they just lost to Iowa?
Bro, are you trying to get all of Vegas to come banging on my door? Because that's what it feels like. But let's be real.
Blame Jesse.
They don't have a shot, and I hope the team doesn't get a hold of this because I'm not that guy that sits there and talks trash about the teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not ripping them.
Let's be honest about what it is. They entered I think it was 34.5 point dogs is what I saw against Arizona State, and they played unbelievable for the first half. I was really impressed with them. I thought it was going to be, just getting run all over and thrown all over from the get-go, the way that things went against Eastern Washington, obviously a lesser team that they should have beat. Look, you go into this one, a team that was ranked 9th overall last week, and I believe now they're 16th in Iowa State. Yeah. Look, this is a really good team on the rise, Iowa State is, coming off a loss to their rival. This has blowout written all over it.
Payday.
I hope UNLV is able to fight and do what they did early on. But I just look at this. I look at Brock Purdy, their running back. I'm blanking on the dude's name, but he is a savage. So I just think he's going to kind of have a field day against this defense that is still trying to figure things out. Having said all of that, I've been really impressed with what I've seen from UNLV, honestly, on both sides of the ball, especially when Brumfield was thrown in there, because putting him in there, that opened up the offense. They were able to push it down the field with Chuck running and just eating. That dude is a dog. I love watching Chuck play. Obviously, one of the best kids in the country in terms of running the ball, but also just a good dude, good solid dude. So like you love to see a kid like that succeed. So with this team, with Brumfield in there, quarterback, like it's a different offense. So you want to see kind of what you saw against Arizona State, but see if they can hold on to it longer. They keep it close and lose by less than 14 points, then man, that's a massive win. Do I think that's going to happen? No, just because again, Iowa State, they're pissed off, coming off a loss to their rival. And again, they're one of the better teams in the country. You don't get ranked number 9 overall early on in the season to not be one of those teams that can come over and beat anybody in the country, let alone UNLV, who's still trying to find their footing and figure things out.
So, Jesse, we mentioned Chuck. This offense runs through Chuck, first and foremost. We know that. He's, I believe, the FBS active leading rusher right now when it comes to rushing yards in college.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, are we going to see Chuck in the NFL? I say yes. I've had people tell me he's not an NFL running back. I'm not going to say superstar or anything like that, but I can definitely see him getting a job in the league. Can you see that happening for this young man once his UNLV career is all said and done?
I definitely see him getting a look at the very least. If he doesn't get a look, something's wrong. You don't be like yes, okay, if you stick around long enough and you're a good player, your numbers are going to get up there in terms of stuff like that. But not just everybody becomes the active leader in rushing yards in the NCAA. I mean, that's next level type of stuff. And think about the teams that he's done it on as well.
Yep.
So that I think is even more impressive. He's done it with O-lines that haven't been that great. In the first game, I think he rushed for like 170 yards or something like that. And again, I know that's an FCS team that they did it against, but still, like 170 yards. Like that's unreal. He was averaging like crazy numbers per rushing attempt. So I think he's a kid. He's got some wiggle. It's an easy comp, and I hate it. But like even just the eye test, I see it, and I hope people don't think it's a lazy comp. But I see Josh Jacobs-esque when he runs the ball in terms of his running style and stuff like that. He runs angry. He's quick and shifty. He's very patient. He's learned to kind of patter his feet and then hit the hole when it's there. And that's something you see from Josh, that slow to, fast through type of thing. So I think at the very least, Chuck is going to get a shot. I really hope he continues to ball out and gets drafted, because nothing would make me happier than to see that kid do it. Because again, like I said, he is just one of the best people that I have ever covered in all of my stops. Like if anybody deserves a shot in the NFL, it's this kid. And I think he's one of those guys. He's wired the right way upstairs. And also the simple fact of this kid works so hard. He's up at 4 a.m. every day. I was talking to him when he graduated, or before he graduated. He's up at 4 a.m. lifting every day in the off season and everything like that. Doing the work that needs to be done. He's got the work ethic. So if a team out there is listening to some dumb guy that keeps picking against these Las Vegas teams, I'm picking for Chuck. Chuck is the guy you got to go for. You got to give him a shot. He's all heart, and he's got some damn good skills to play off of as well. So I think at the very least, he's going to get at least a look, and then, hey, we'll see what happens. This kid, you give him an opportunity, I'd be blown away if he doesn't seize it.
Jose V, Rob G. We are joined by Jesse Merrick of NBC News3 Las Vegas, out here in Las Vegas, of course, where we are from, where we're hanging out with you guys tonight. You're tuning to Straight Bet Sports live on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. So, Jesse, I got one final thing for you, and this actually comes from Neil, a good friend of ours. He's on Facebook, and he's chiming in. I think it's a great question, and I think this question is better fit for you because you could probably answer it better than I can. He says the NCAA is going through massive uphill battle, not just in conference realignment, but in governing structure as well, which may see schools like UNLV be removed from the FBS. Things need to turn around with them soon for the sake of the whole athletic program. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I do agree. Things need to turn around soon for sure. I mean, given the facilities and the investment that's been placed in there, I see what he's saying in terms of, teams, for lack of a better word, being relegated, kind of like we see in soccer and stuff like that. But UNLV is not in danger of that. I don't think they're going to be bumped down into a classification or anything like that. But they definitely got to figure things out. I mean, look at their two programs, the marquee programs in basketball and football. I mean, especially basketball. This is a town that loves the Running Rebels and has been hungry to see what they saw in the 90s again, and they haven't been able to get back to any real semblance of that, but maybe 1-2 years here and there.
Yeah.
So they need to figure it out. We're in Las Vegas. It's a city that's booming on top of all the facilities that you have and everything like that, specifically for football. And Arroyo's doing a great job recruiting. So this is no knock on what he's done recruiting-wise. But I've had this conversation many times with a lot of different people. You're in Las Vegas. You shouldn't be being out-recruited by Laramie, Wyoming, or even Boise, things like that. Look, Boise's a powerhouse in the Mountain West, so this is no knock on them.
Definitely.
But, if it comes down to living in Boise or Laramie or any of the other cities in some of the places around here, or Fresno, like, no offense, I'm never going to work in any of these places now, but let's be honest.
Thanks
like,
for
Vegas
coming. Come
went
again.
out in that. So they've got every advantage in it. And now they have the facilities, they have the NFL on their back door. So it's just a matter of really finding something that clicks here. I hope Arroyo's the guy that figures it out, because it's a lot more fun to cover a team that's winning. And I know in Vegas, having a good NFL team and a good football team, or good college football team as well, will be a lot of fun. But he's not going to get relegated or anything like that. But with the conference realignment, it is going to be real interesting to see kind of where things go. I know people, not to sit here and ramble on, but I know people have talked about possibly trying to move into the Pac-12 for basketball and stuff like that to be able to do that. Well, yeah, if you move basketball there, all the other programs come, and you don't want to see this football team in the Pac-12 on a week-to-week basis. So they got to figure it out. I hope the guys that they have in place now can get it done.
There we go. Jesse Merrick, NBC News3, Las Vegas, giving us a bit of his time here. Jesse, we appreciate your time, man. We appreciate your insight. I will for sure see you on Saturday night. I can't say that for Rob.
Knock it
We're
off.
still trying to get him a credential to get him to the game, but we appreciate.
I'm going regardless. I'm going regardless.
We appreciate your time, Jesse. Yeah, we'll make. I know, Mark. If you're watching, Mark wanted to make it happen. Thank you. We got Jesse backing us up on it too. But no, Jesse, let everyone know out there where they can find
all
you.
the bad stuff I said about the teams.
I know, right? Like, really, after everything you said, now you want us to hook this guy up, but we gotta think about it. But Jesse, let everybody know where they can find you on all things social media and on TV as well, my man.
Yeah, hey, I mean, most nights on Channel 3, obviously NBC. Me and Brian are up there doing our thing. And then on social media, look at me at Jesse News3LV on Twitter. You just search my name, Jesse Merrick, up on Instagram. I'll pop up on there as well.
There we go. Jesse Merrick, NBC News3, Las Vegas. We greatly appreciate you, my man. We'll see you out there on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, Jesse.
For sure, guys. Appreciate the time as always. Good chopping it up with you.
All right, brother. Take care. Have a great night. Go Rebels.
Yeah.
Good stuff there, Rob.
Yeah, it's great insight into the team, It's like having a sideline reporter, being able to tell us what's going on and give us some insight. That's awesome.
That's why I like bringing in people like that, or having people like that on the show, because they can give us a lot more than we can actually give. You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's fun. It gives you a different insight for sure. But the time has come to talk about what we love. Happy holiday. I got to find that song and play it for us, because it is a happy holiday whenever we talk football, whenever it's football season. Let's play some music here.
Overreaction week 2, right?
I know we got to talk about overreactions. Who do we think it is? But before we do that, we got to give a big shout out, obviously, to our other sponsor.
There he is.
Eric Navarro of Line 'em Up by Eric. If you guys need a haircut, you need your beard trimmed, you need your lineup done, you need a fade, you need designs in your hair, anything you need, Eric got you. Eric with Line 'em Up by Eric, 702-884-8138. Or on IG at Line 'em Up by Eric, as you see right there on the screen. He's out for the next 2 weeks as he's having surgery. So that's why I kind of went back to my bald fade. I cut my hair off completely, chopped it up, just to let it grow out, because it's easy, not a problem. But again, hit him up. Exactly, the age is there. You see the canas. Line 'em Up by Eric Navarro, 702-884-8138. Let him know the fellas over at Straight Bet Sports sent you. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So, Rob, you and I both went 1-0 last week to start the season.
Yes, we did.
You had the Niners, even though the Lions backdoor covered the closing line, which was 9.5.
Yes.
Even Quan said, how did that even happen? I don't know.
Sorcery.
But we also said that at the cannery in the morning.
I said
backdoor. Yeah, you did. Backdoor.
I said backdoor, last minute. I can
last
see it.
Last minute cover.
The book needs it. We talk about percentages.
Yep.
We talk about, wanting to bet where the book bets. Or what? Not say where they bet, but what they need, right?
Definitely.
It played out to
I had the
everyone that worked at all the books slept well at night after that one.
I had the Jets this past weekend. I had the Panthers. I went against my Jets. Panthers won by 5. Jets try to make a comeback. They look good towards the end. Not gonna lie. I was texting back and forth with Quan as well. The young kid looks good. I'm not gonna lie. Zach Wilson looked good. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't really look that much like a rook. He handled it well. He didn't look immature. Still has a lot of work to be done, obviously. That defense has a lot of work to be done. They need to figure out who's going to be their actual main running back, their number one. You need to figure out your wide receiver situation. Who's going to be the guy that Zach Wilson's going to be comfortable with? Obviously, it wasn't at that game. I called it. I got mine. You got yours. Good way to start the week, right? Before we get into this week's games, we're not going to go through all of them, obviously. We're going to go through the ones that we see the most. I'll let you look at that real quick.
I got them.
While I pull this up. No, so you can get ready. So if you guys did not know, There were 9 dog winners this past Sunday. And what did the guy tell us at the bar? I think it's going to be a dog day.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Some random dude just got, I think it's going to be a dog day.
I didn't remember that till now right now.
I think it's going to be a dog day and they're going to win. So 9 dog winners out of the 15 Sunday games that we had. 5 of the 9 winners were road dogs. The Falcons were a 3.5-point favorite. They lost to the Eagles in Atlanta. Steelers, which was a game that I liked. Steelers went into Buffalo being a 6.5-point dog, won outright. Bengals in overtime, which I thought was going to be another tie game like they had last year, which killed the 18 parlay for me last year. They went in overtime. They were a 3-point dog as well. Cardinals, man.
Demolished.
Cardinals look scary. I know it's only week 1, but Cardinals look scary. 38-13 being a 2.5-point dog.
On the road against the Titans, who are on the up and coming.
Chargers, 20-16 over the Washington football team. Being
Not surprised.
Not surprised there. I like the Chargers in that game as well. Dolphins, I had the Pats in this one, but the Dolphins pull it off 17-16. Pats were 3.5-point favorites. The Saints, Jameis, famous crab leg Jameis, gets a starting job back 38-3. One of the worst losses ever on an opening day for the Green Bay Packers. And of course, hometown team Raiders pull it off in overtime 33-27, which I think, aside from the Cleveland Tampa Bay game, was probably one of the most exciting games to watch this weekend if we're being serious.
Cleveland KC,
I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't forget about the
Cleveland
Cowboys
was up
game.
9-0 with, by 9 points with 10 minutes to go in that game.
But the Cowboys is a good game. That game was pretty good too.
To start the year, yeah, definitely. Great game for sure. Now, I'll let you go ahead first. What game do you like? What game are you looking at? This isn't our pick of the week, by the way. We're just going down these lines as we have here every single week. Rob, what you looking at?
I look at the first game just to start off because I'm assuming that you're probably going to pick some of these games as well. But just the first game on the sheet, which is probably on every sheet, the Saints on the road versus Carolina.
I like the Saints. I like the -3.
So we talk about overreaction, right? That's if anything. I mean, I see my mic. Yikes. There's two in that game, right? Is it an overreaction on
Jameis?
on Jameis, and is there an overreaction on is Green Bay really that bad, right? Or I feel like when Green Bay loses in big spots like that, like they lose big time. Like a bunch of teams have done that to Aaron Rodgers. Like the Niners being the most recent. Like in the same season, I think they did it twice, right? They did it in the NFC Championship game, and then they did it during the regular season, I believe. So. When the Packers lose, when they lose bad, they get demolished. And I think the Packers are obviously better than that first week performance. But talk about overreaction too. We can't forget that there wasn't a fourth. I mean, how important is that fourth preseason game?
Yeah.
Right. We don't. Not too many people have talked about it. About how important it is, and this is the first year without it, and how much teams really need that, right? Because typically in that fourth game, that's when most starters have more reps, right, than the first 3, because they kind of gradually work into the season. So that fourth one for a couple teams, I mean, I'm certain it looks like a couple of them were begging for it or needed it. I'm sorry, because of their first week performance. So it's going to be interesting to see where some teams are moving. How they perform in week 2, because for a lot of people this. For a lot of teams that didn't do that well in week 1, this is their week 1 over. This is their do-over again, right? Because they didn't get that fourth preseason game.
So you're gonna hate me, but the game that I'm looking at.
Wait, we didn't talk about the game yet.
You did.
I didn't even give you what I like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it. What do you like?
Well,
that's not your pick, but what do you like?
No, it's not my pick.
But this is the game that you're looking at. So
I'm looking at it because I'm trying to see what I'm sorry.
So I got it right here. We're looking at percentages. 61% of the money's on New Orleans. 39% of the money on Carolina. 51-49 the total.
What did it? Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. That's what I wanted to have ready, but it wasn't. The internet.
So Jameis Winston had 174 yards passing, I believe. 5
Saints opened up
-1.5.
That was prior. Now, remember, we're talking about these look-ahead lines.
Correct.
These were launched before last week, right? Yep. So now that they see how well Jameis did, and I don't want to say the Panthers did extremely well. They were leading by a lot. Before the Jets kind of had a good second half, I guess you want to say, right? They put up some points on the board, and that was at 19-14, right?
Correct.
I like the Panthers at home. It opened up -1.5. It's up to 3, -325, -125 in some spots. I could possibly see maybe 3.5, but like Dwayne said, moving off of that football number is huge.
Huge.
If it gets to 3.5, I would like to take the Panthers. If it stays at 3, I think I'm probably going to lay off anyways, but if it gets to 3.5, I may take a look at that game.
So
I like the Panthers. Sorry.
I like the Saints.
All right.
not a game I'm looking at. That was a game you're looking at. So I don't have much analysis on it. I think it's a bit of an overreaction on what
I have
Jameis
analysis
Winston
on
did.
all the games.
On what Jameis Winston did, but I think he'll be solid. I think he looked solid. He looked happy. You got to stop that locker room celebration thing. We don't want to see you trying to eat W's again. If you guys saw the video, it's out there. It's hilarious. But same old Jameis Winston. You know, he's going to be him. He's going to celebrate. The game that I'm looking at, and I think it's going to be murder. I'm talking about a demolishing Cleveland-Houston. 12.5. Cleveland Browns are favored against the Houston Texans.
What's the percentages?
It's not that bad. Cleveland's 59% to 41 on Houston. So nothing too crazy there, right? But I just think that after the way that Cleveland lost this game, I mean, after seeing the way they played and the way Baker Mayfield looks and the confidence that this team has, they are legit. Even though I was talking bad about them before the season, saying that, are we really talking about the Browns this way? They are legit. Normally, I'm afraid of big numbers. I stay away from these type of numbers because I don't like to bet these type of big numbers because they're harder to hit, right? Or it's like you need 2 touchdowns. You got to get murdered. You got to see a blowout. I see the blowout happening here. Everyone's high on Houston. You want to talk about overreaction? Houston played Jacksonville.
I don't think anyone's
and a rookie quarterback. No, but what I mean by that, there's people that I've already talked to, and it's Wednesday, that are like, Houston, they don't need, Deshaun Watson, this, and that. You played Jacksonville in the first game of the season with a rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback that's still trying to figure it out, and you were at home. Of course you're going to look good, right? I mean,
I don't think they won that many people over. I mean, it was good to see them obviously win and be able to show everyone that they can put up a lot of points without Deshaun Watson. But then again, like you said, it was Jacksonville. It was a rookie quarterback. It was a rookie coach. In the NFL. If you want to call him that. I just don't think that they won a lot of people over. I mean, I think they won people some money, which could possibly kind of lead them into maybe thinking that they're better than what what we all think. But I looked at this game and laying double digits in the NFL in general, right? No matter who it is, the worst team or the best team, that's tough. And I don't like to lay double digits. I know we talked about the Niners having the big, that was what, 8.5, 9. It got up to like 9.5, right?
And not only that, you got to remember, we're talking about these lines and these odds and these percentages on a Wednesday night.
No, that's correct. And I think, what the Browns do have going for them, though, is that they're a little upset, right? They should be very upset that they lost that game, right? That's a game that I feel like the Browns lost versus KC won, right? Just like we talked about with the Ravens earlier. So, if I were the Browns, I'd maybe want to run it up, you know what I mean? Put some points on the board and get that team, headed in the right direction versus like a slug it out 16-13 or like a 16-10 type win. If I were the Browns, I would want to definitely lead the way from the beginning and definitely win by more than double digits.
So my pick on this one, again, it's not our pick of the week, just going based off of games that we like, which we think are bigger games of the weekend. I like the Browns. I think the Browns cover the 12.5 points. Call me crazy, big number, not afraid of it. I think they demolished.
When's the last time you saw the Browns favored by 12.5 points?
I'll be honest with you. I think final score here, we're looking at possibly, I can see 44-10 final type of thing. That's just me. I think they're going to demolish them. When you got Jadeveon Clowney now, think about this for Cleveland. You have Jadeveon Clowney now to complement Myles Garrett on the other side, right? You have 2 solidified monsters on each corner. So I love it. I just think Cleveland's going to go crazy. I think they're going to have Tyrod on his back the whole day. I like Cleveland in this game, so let's move on to the next one. What do you like? What are you looking at? What's another game that pops out to you that you think is huge for this Sunday?
I think Bills and Dolphins. I think Dolphins obviously coming off a big win on the road. Bills losing a big game at home. We talked about it earlier too with and
6.5 point favorite, big loss.
And I thought the Bills would win that game. I mean, haven't been high on the Steelers so far. We were talking, I've talked about how many, them predicted to not make the playoffs. You predicting them to make the playoffs. I think this is a big game for both teams. I mean, if Miami starts the season 2-0, that's great. That's right where they want to be. Yeah. And if the Bills start 0-2, then
that's not where they want to be.
That's exactly. Well, yeah, of course.
You just paid all this money for Josh Allen.
Yeah, and then you start thinking of maybe one hit wonder, fool's gold, right? The Bills just kind of morphing back into that franchise that we've come to know them for so long since the Jim Kelly era and stuff.
Moonwalk.
Yeah, and so it's a big game for both teams. I think everyone is. I think most people are going to want to bet the Bills, especially with it opening up at 3.5.
74% of the money's on Buffalo.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I call out these games. I haven't really actually looked at percentages because it is Wednesday, like you mentioned, so it could be a little skewed right now. But when I look at like the opening line on that game, as I kind of pull up so open at -3, 48.5, down to 47.5, but still at 3 on the Bills. All the money, as you said, percentages right now are on the Bills. I like Miami. I like the points. I think the spread comes into play. Buffalo's going to win, I think, but I think it's going to be by a 1 or 2 points, or a push at 3. But I think that spread is going to come into play.
So I'll be honest with you. I was looking at this game too. I think it's one of the bigger games of the weekend, just because it's a division game already, right? It's an interconference game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still want to see, was this a Josh Allen fluke? You just mentioned it. We talked about it on, I think, 2 weeks ago as well. Was this a thing where Josh Allen was good because there was no crowd noise? Because you could make those checkdowns? Because you had more opportunities? Or is Josh Allen legit? Granted, first game of the season, right? Let's pump our brakes. Let's not overreact as we talked about. Maybe he comes out and just annihilates Miami. Who knows, right? I honestly think Miami wins this game outright. I think they have what it takes to win outright. I think Tua's only going to get better, and I'm not a big guy that's high on Tua, so if you know that, you know me, and you know that I've said it before, and I don't think Tua's going to make it in the league, but I like being proven wrong. But based off of what I saw from Miami against New England and from what I saw from Buffalo against Pittsburgh, I like Miami in this game.
This is a big.
It's a huge game.
It's a big conference game too, right?
This game right now can have a lot of implications at the end of the season.
Exactly. So
huge.
If Miami starts off 2-0 and takes command of this division, and they'll be playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're coming to Vegas the week after, right? They're coming to Vegas right after they play the Bills. So they're not in a look ahead position. I know.
Shout out to Mike Dixon. He's a big Dolphin fan. I know he'll be at that game.
We don't want to talk too much crap about the Raiders on one show, but there's no looking ahead to the Raiders, right? You got Miami coming in. They can really hone in on what they need to do to get this W, because I think this W, going 2-0 is more crucial. It's a bigger game than next week, is what I'm trying to say.
So Rob, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there real quick because the social media buzz didn't get too big. So if you're watching right now, I'll give you the opportunity. 702-608-3259. Give us a call right now. If you want to win the Raiders shirt, check out the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We posted it on there. Call us right now. First person to give us a call, if we do get a caller, I don't care if it's someone that watches every single week. I don't care if you're family. If you're watching and you're listening, first person to give us a call right now wins the Raider t-shirt, 702-608-3259. You do got to give us your thoughts on air, though, if you're a Raider fan, because that's what we want to hear. Real quick, give us your thoughts. Then we'll get your info and we'll get you on your way. 702-608-3259. Give us a call if you want to win the shirt from Klever Shirtz, the big Raider shirt we got there. Pretty cool stuff. But
your turn.
I like Miami in that game. So
I like Miami.
That's my. Oh, we both like Miami.
I like Miami.
Okay, so we're on the same page. So another big game that I think it's a big game this weekend, Niners-Eagles. So you and Quan are Niner fans. Huge game for the Niners, right? But you guys also got injuries now. That injury bug is coming back up. Raheem Mostert, IR, out. Goose Thomas said it on Let the Ball Bounce a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's going to end up being the guy. Sure enough, he's out, right? He's hurt. He's done for the season. I forgot who else got hurt, but you guys have two big injuries as well.
He looked good before he got injured, but yeah.
This game right now, Philly at home, 3.5-point dog. Niners are a favorite in this game. We know Deebo Samuel's the guy, right? I benched the guy, 35 points on the bench, but I still won both of my fantasy leagues, so I'm not tripping on that. But we know he's the guy now. We know he's probably going to get a lot more touches in this game because Raheem Mostert being down. This is one where we can talk about overreaction or not because of what Jalen Hurts did against an Atlanta Falcon team. He looked good, right? He looked good, but it's still against an Atlanta Falcon team that hasn't been able to figure it out on defense for a few years now.
I mean, the book thought that the Atlanta was a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
I know they were at home, but they were a 3.5-point favorite. Eagles had a great first game. They did some stuff that impressed a lot of people. Little bit of an over. To me personally, being a Niners fan, I feel like the Eagles have our number. They've always had our number for years. Anytime we play, I think we played 2 years ago on, I believe, a Monday night, and Carson Wentz, led the Eagles to a victory. I'm interested more in the total in this game. I saw it open at 45.
You read my mind.
Yeah, 45 is kind of low, right, for what both teams did in the first week. And it opened at, it opened at 46.5. It's up to 49.5. And I kind of lean towards the under in that. I think both teams, obviously put a big point, a lot of numbers, but for them to, feel comfortable opening at 46.5, big,
So we disagree on this one.
You like the over, huh?
I like the over on this one. I think we're going to see high
score 50.
Point. Yeah, I think both defenses are still trying to figure it out. They're Swiss cheese. For the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff to do what they did to you guys, I'm sorry. I think the Eagles can put up some points. Now, I don't think they're going to win this game.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not touching either side. I'm staying away from the side. Me, myself, I like the total in this game. I think we're going to see a high score.
I don't have
game.
this game circled, so, I'm just giving you my opinion.
Based off of me, yeah.
If it gets up to 50, the parlay cards, man. These are like parlay card stuff that we're talking about a lot right now. But, yeah, I'd maybe look to maybe take the under, but that's if.
Okay.
If anything.
Not a problem.
All right, I'm up, right?
Hold up. 702-608-3259. Once again, if you are tuned in on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, give us a call right now. We're giving away that Raider t-shirt from Klever Shirtz, any size, but you do got to mention a little bit about the Raiders if you can give us a call. 702-608-3259. If you're not a Raider fan, you want to get it for somebody, just chime in and represent your team. Not a problem. 702-608. Oh.
Easy money.
Right, look at that. Easy money. Right when we say it. Let's see.
Easy money.
Caller, can you hear us?
What's good, man? It's your boy, Goose Thomas.
Hey, what's good, Goose?
Man.
What's good
with it, man? Rob G, what's popping, man?
What's going on?
Man, look, man, I just wanted to call and show y'all some love, man. Great damn show, man, that y'all putting on, man. That was some great insight that was given by my man from News3 right there, man.
Jesse,
absolutely.
Really good insight on the UNLV football team. I tried to sneak a question in there in regards to I call him my nephew, man, Mr. Adam Plant Jr., bro.
Yeah,
defensive end at UNLV, bro. He's a monster, bro. A complete animal. I think he's another one that'll get a look. Including Chuck Wagon, of course, getting a look. But Adam Plant Jr. is gonna get a look at the next level, man. He has the size, he has the speed, the intangibles, man. He's a big kid and he's a good kid. So I have a feeling he's going to get a big look as well, man.
Okay. What do you think about your Niners this weekend? We just finished talking Niners. I'm not sure if you're a betting man or if you like to touch games.
Right.
Rob and I aren't really looking at the sides. We're looking more the total. He likes the under. I see a high-scoring game based off of what I saw in the first game. What do you think?
I like the over. I like the over in that game, bro. We're going to see a lot of Trey Sermon this week. Like I said, in tons of I'm in seven fantasy drafts.
Wow.
Everybody was high on Raheem Mostert. I said, look, man, we've seen this before. Raheem Mostert will be hurt within the first 4 weeks.
You called it.
Not only was it within the first 4 weeks, it was damn near within the first 4 minutes of the first game.
Yeah.
So we saw that coming. And now I understand why Shanahan made Trey Sermon a healthy scratch in week 1, because now the three backs that we have currently can pretty much go the entire way, and it really be no setbacks. So I'm really excited, man, to see this game. This is the second time, I believe, in 3 years that we've gone back to back on the road to start the season, and we won both of those games that year. So I don't see really anything different. The Eagles, I think, man, just jumped out. They were high. And they jumped out. I don't think it's gonna happen this week, though. I think we give the Eagles everything they can handle, man. I really do.
There you go. Insight from a true Niner fan.
Man.
Give him the shirt.
No doubt, man.
So actually, is it your pop? Is it your pops a Raider fan?
Yeah, Pops is a huge Raider fan, man. We were at the game Monday night, man. He had a great time, man.
Then there it is.
Yeah,
we're gonna give away the shirt. We're gonna give away the shirt to your pops, Goose, so he can represent and he can wear that shirt the next time you guys go to a game. How about that? Because you called in, so you get it, my man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I can dig it, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
There we go. Goose Thomas from Let the Ball Bounce.
Man. Keep doing
Tuesdays and Saturdays. Make sure you check him out here on Gorilla Cross Radio. We appreciate you for chiming in, my man.
Already, man. Shout out Quan 59, man. Appreciate you, homeboy.
Yes, sir. All right, my brother. Have a great night. Peace.
Man. Absolutely. I'll keep listening in, man.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Goose Thomas. We've had him on the show before. Again, Let the Ball Bounce. If you guys have not checked it out, here live Tuesday nights, from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and on Saturday afternoons from 2 to 3:30, I believe it is. So check that out. Good stuff. They get off topic from time to time, and Quan's got to keep them in line, but funny stuff, funny show. We got about 5 minutes, bro. We got the winner out the way, so someone called in, chimed in. Thank you, Kevin, big homie from Klever Shirtz. We greatly appreciate you. KleverShirtz.com with a K and a Z at the end. Make sure you guys check out the website. He's got a lot of stuff. If you're a Vegas sports fan, trust me, hit him up. He's got stuff that you won't find anywhere else. He even has jerseys now, bro. So trust me, you will not be disappointed. But Rob, 5 minutes here.
Rapid fire. I like the Colts.
Not too much rapid fire. We got time. Who do you like and why?
I like Rams on the road. Right, looked great against the Bears, or are the Bears that bad? Right.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford just was what that team needed, right? Or looks like
who they thought he was.
Right. It looks like it's what that team needed to kind of get them over the hump and replace Jared Goff and really put an emphasis on what that offense can really do.
Yeah.
I think it's obviously their first road game. They were at home on Sunday night. Colts looked not the greatest against Seattle. They started off okay. And then Seattle kind of took over as that game kind of progressed. My phone keeps timing out. I apologize, but let's see.
Rob doing what he do on the phone.
Right. So Rams open up -3 was the look ahead line. Based on what based on the Colts getting really ran by Seattle as that game progressed. The Rams really running through Chicago with no sweat. Right, with no sweat. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction possibly on the Rams. Rams are -3.5, right, on the road against the Colts. I like the Colts in that situation. I like them at home. I like them at home. I mean, I think what's the percentages if you want to pull them up? I'm
saying
pretty sure.
Good things about the Rams, but he likes the Colts. All right, let's see. So we're at 69% of the money's on the LA Rams.
I already know. It just seems too easy, right?
Yeah.
Especially if that line drops to 3.
Even the money line ticket, 73%.
Yeah, that's a perfect money line play.
Yeah.
I like the Colts 3.5. Shows 4.5 here on the sheet, so it may be up to something else.
So I'm looking at 4 on scores.
I'll take 4.
So you'll take
the
4?
4. I'll take the 4.
Because
that's not my play. But yeah, I like the Colts.
But I thought that's your play.
No. I'm just going through. I thought we're still going through games.
No, we got 5 minutes left. That's our pick of the week.
I'm sorry then.
That's all good. But that's a good game though. That's a good game to give me insight. I appreciate that.
That's a really good game.
But with that being said, now give us your pick of the week. Again, guys, we're both 1-0. So if you followed us, you made some money last week. Name of the show, Straight Bet Sports. That's why we give you a straight bet every single football season. And it's only NFL. I wanted to correct that with you, Rob. You can only give me an NFL pick, not a college pick.
I know. Well, I gave a bonus.
You can give a bonus. That's fine. But our pick, what you got?
Our pick, if we're going to single it out, it was a game I thought we were going to talk about a little bit, but I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings getting +3.5. The look-ahead line was Arizona -3. Obviously, we talked about Arizona, huge win on the road. Kyler Murray, that whole entire team looks like they're ready to, take care of business this season. And the Vikings went to overtime, with the Bengals, right? And they ended up losing that game, right? But Bengals won,
Bengals
and
won by 3.
And I think that's a no movement either, right? It's up to 3.5. You think there would be at least maybe a point, maybe something up to 4.5, maybe 5. Like, damn, how good is Arizona? And the books are just literally still looking at you right in the face, just blinking your eyes, saying Arizona -3. Right.
So you're taking the 4.5 because that's what I have on the sheet.
If you got 4.5, I will take 4.5. Give me the Vikings.
So Rob has the Vikings +4.5 against the Arizona Cardinals. My pick of the week, it's probably a little bit obvious just based off of the way we talk the games. I'm taking Miami. I like Miami based off of what I saw this past week against the New England Patriots. I'm not sold on Josh Allen. I still think it was possibly a fluke based off of last year. Just like my guy Cody Bellinger can't get out of batting 160. The guy should have been sent down to the minors a long time ago. That's a whole different sport that we're watching on TV. But anyways, I like Miami in this game. If you know me, I talk so much smack about Tua and the Dolphins because they're on the other side of the ball. I'm a Jets fan, so I'm always going to root against them. But I like Miami in this situation. You're giving me 3.5 points for a Miami team that's going to play at home. I like what Brian Flores does with this defense. I think we're going to see more from the offense with Tua. Not only that, Jalen Waddle, the guy that they got from Alabama, another Alabama receiver, Devontae Parker. Just overall, I think we're going to see a lot more from this offense, not just Tua. And on a Wednesday, it's one of the biggest numbers on the board, Rob. 74% of the money is on the Buffalo Bills right now on a Wednesday night. So you know me, I love big percentages. I love big sides. Give me Miami +3.5 at home against Buffalo. That is my pick of the week, Rob.
Bonus play. Go.
Bonus play. My bonus play, because I got one this weekend. What did I say earlier? Indiana is going to beat Cincinnati in Indiana. They're getting 4 points. I think they win outright. That's my upset extra pick of the week, whatever you want to call it.
I'll go college. I'll go back to UNLV home team. I think that they're going to get ran.
Smashed.
Give me minus 31.5. Iowa. I mean, you're just catching them at Iowa State. You're just catching them at the wrong time, right? 8 turnovers, 8-0 turnover ratio on the last game against Big Brother, right? Iowa didn't have a good first game against Northern Illinois. I think that UNLV this is one where you may want to just say you caught COVID real quick and just get this one canceled, because I think they're going to. I think someone caught COVID because they're going to get ran. They're not catching Iowa State, where this is the worst time to catch them. And I think the route is in. Honestly, I will call that. I don't think if the UNLV gets the ball after a kickoff on the 20 or 25, whatever they get it in college, they will not have a single scoring drive in this game unless they turn over the ball. Unless Iowa State turns over the ball like in their own territory. Like, that's how good Iowa State's defense is, and I don't really think that UNLV's offense is ready for this defense.
Rob said it. There it is, my man. So I'm guessing that's Rob's final word of the night.
I'm saying like 50.
UNLV will get
52.
ran.
I'm going like 52.
52-3? 52-3?
10. Yeah, so I'll give 10. I'll give them 10.
How about 52-9? They'll score 3 field goals.
There you go. Right.
Mark, don't hate me, man. Don't revoke my credentials. But yeah, man, great show, fun stuff, man. Jesse Merrick from NBC News3 here in Las Vegas joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate the homie for chiming in and jumping on with us. Goose Thomas, we greatly appreciate you, my man. Won the shirt. Kevin from Klever Shirtz, we appreciate you. KleverShirtz.com. Hit him up today. Place your order. Let him know that Jose V and Rob G from Straight Bet Sports over on Gorilla Cross Radio sent you. Primo Eddie chimes in one more time. My pick is Washington over the Giants tomorrow. We got to start getting some more viewership picks here, too. So bring them in. Send them in every single week. We'll definitely talk about it on the air. But no final thought tonight, man. Just have fun. Be safe this weekend. Football is back. There's a lot going on in Vegas. There's a lot going around in the world. Just take care of yourself, man. If you go somewhere, don't be a Karen. Put on your mask if they ask you. Wash your hands. Wash your booty. Get the sanitation round. Take care of yourself, guys. There's a lot going on in the world. We don't want bad things to happen to you or your family. But with that being said, fun stuff. Next week, not sure exactly what we're going to do or what we're going to have or who we're going to have on the show. But we'll be talking football, as we will be talking football every single week for the remaining part of the season. Thanks to our sponsor, Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Eric Navarro of Line 'em Up by Eric. You need a cut, hit him up. You need a home, hit up Josh. You already know what it is. For Jose V.
You need a phone, hit up Rob.
Right, you need a phone, hit up Rob. But that's for another day. But anyways, once again, for Jose V, Rob G, Quan 59, Straight Bet Sports here from the Gorilla Cross Radio Network studios. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you guys next week. Have yourself a great night. Enjoy your football Sunday. Till then, peace.
See you.
Duele tanta baba, el no juzgarme se les agradece, el beneficio de la duda.